I was excited when I heard that Max Kellerman was coming back. I've been watching Max Kellerman for so long, and I just think about him on the HBO days and all the great fights that he had and all these awesome calls that he made. So when I heard that he was coming back, it was something that was awesome. And one of these things that I was watching, these interviews that he was giving after one of the press conferences or something or another, he was sitting down and he was talking, and he's got this story that he tells. And he said, and the person asked him, if you were talking to a young guy, how would you convince him that boxing is the greatest sport ever? And he said, it's real simple. I've talked to people in the past, and I'll give you the breakdown of what I say to them. And I would look at them and I'd say, what's your favorite sport? First thing I do is ask them a question. What's your favorite sport? And they say something along the lines of basketball, football, golf, soccer, whatever the case may be. And he goes, wrong. Boxing's your favorite sport. And I'll prove it to you. Imagine you walk out onto a street corner. There's an intersection. On one corner, you've got a baseball game going on. On one corner, you've got a basketball game going on. On another, there's a game of soccer. And on the fourth corner, there's a fight. Which corner do you think is going to have the biggest crowd? And it's obvious. It's going to be the fight. The fight is obviously the most entertaining thing. It's the one that draws everybody's attraction. It's where everybody's always going to be. If you're at any sporting event and a fight breaks out, people always, right away, they go and they watch the fight. It's because fights are so intriguing and it's deep inside of our nature. Like everybody loves fighting. So the question is, why is boxing a secondary sport? Because that's the way it is in America. When you are in the United States right now, boxing is a secondary sport. The NFL, the NBA, maybe to a lesser degree, Major League Baseball, right? Like these are our primary sports, right? And you can tell by all the money that goes to them. You can tell by the massive amount of people that watch them. You can even look at the quality of the reporters that major places like ESPN sends to events. They send their A-list reporters to the NBA games, the NFL games. They don't send the A-list to boxing. And look, I don't mean to knock anybody, man. There's some great people doing some great work in boxing. But let's be honest with each other about the way that the nation embraces the sport. So how can both of those things be true? How can fighting just really deep down in people's DNA be so intriguing and draw everybody's attention and focus and be so just visceral in its entertainment? And how can it also be a secondary sport? And the answer to that is in the storytelling, right? Because as humans, we love storytelling. That's the primary way that we communicate. It's the way information and knowledge has been passed down, and it's how we entertain each other and everything else. The storytelling in boxing is not world class. The storytelling in boxing is not at the prime level. Now, what's interesting about this situation is we've got two new players in the game, man, who could really come and shake things up. Okay, you've got Turki El-Sheikh and you've got Nick Khan, the CEO of the WWE. Look at what Vince McMahon did with the WWE. You've got a man who is selling a product that's scripted. It's scripted. Everybody knows that it's scripted. You're going out there. It's not the real deal in the sense of a sporting event when the outcome is unknown and we're all just intrigued and fascinated and glued to the screen to watch what's going to happen. We know what's going to happen. Well, we don't know what's going to happen, but we know that the outcome is scripted when we're watching the WWE. And yet, this man is able to go out here and sell massive amounts of product. Whether you're talking about merch, pay-per-views, eyeballs on the seats, ticket sales, whatever the case may be, the WWE is out there doing amazing numbers. And the reason for that is simple. Vince McMahon understands human psychology. He stepped away from it now. Nick Khan is the man, but Vince McMahon, the one who built it. From all reason to believe, from everybody who talks about him, who's worked with him, who's been around him, Nick Khan is a man who's going to carry that torch and probably make it even brighter, make it shine even hotter. So when you look at this Nick Khan, and he's coming in and he's going to be a man who's doing storytelling behind boxing. And it's something that's always intrigued me because I've always thought, like, what is it that's holding people back? If you were a guy's manager or if you were able to play king for a day and you were in control of the sport, what is it that you would do to draw people in who aren't currently fans of the sport? What is it that you would do to make it bigger? Because you've got like these hardcore fans out here. I was watching this interview once with Leonard Ellerbe and he said, I've seen all of the numbers for years and I'm telling you guys right now, there's only 200,000. 200,000 hardcore fans that no matter what, these dudes are going to watch and they're going to be there and their eyeballs and their attention and their focus is going to be glued. But other than that, it's hit or miss. Other than that, you need somebody who's got like this mainstream crossover appeal. It's a Canelo, it's a De La Hoya, it's a Manny Pacquiao. It's somebody who like can really, really, truly draw people in that otherwise wouldn't be involved with the sport. Can they do that? Are they going to be able to jump that gap, man? Are they going to be able to build that bridge across those fan bases and be able to take boxing and make it happen? We always talk about the good old days, the glory days, right? We think about fighters like Sugar Ray Leonard. We think about Muhammad Ali. And we think about all the buzz and the popularity behind him and everybody who watched those men perform. And it's easy to look on the surface and say, oh, well, that's because it was on regular television. That's because these things were on ABC, right? And there's so many people who are watching ABC, particularly when you didn't have as many television stations and it's free TV. So of course, all these people are going to tune in and watch, and it builds the popularity. And guys like Sugar Ray are getting, Coca-Cola endorsements and everything else. But when you look at the fighters today and you present them with packages, it's instantly obvious. If you get a guy who is a pay-per-view quality fighter, a world-class quality fighter, he's going to make more money on that next fight by fighting on the pay-per-view model. He's not going to be guaranteed to be able to build up his publicity and his popularity through free TV and free events and all of these things with the hope of cashing out on the back end, because all of a sudden he's going to get turned into some Sugar Ray Leonard type character where he's adored by all of these fans, right? But we know people like boxing. We know people like fighting. We know people like storytelling and stories and characters and what's behind them and what makes them tick and what makes everything go. If you can figure out a way to put all this together, man, it's going to blow. It's going to be massive. It's going to go straight through the roof. So maybe this is going to be that time. Maybe Turki Al-Sheikh was able to put these pieces in place behind the scenes, and we're going to see, maybe it's going to be through Nick Khan, and we're going to see somebody come in here and really be able to figure out this puzzle, right? This Rubik's Cube of how to make boxing grow, man, and how to bring in more fans to it, and how to make this whole thing just appealing to a larger base. Because look, guys like me, probably guys like you, you're going to be fans for life. Like, you're already here. I signed up for all the fights the day I was born. Right? Like, I'm gonna watch all of them. The bum fights, the great ones, the ones that everybody's excited about, the ones that nobody really talked about, but they were phenomenal. I'm watching all the fights. But I'm not the guy who's gonna move the needle. There's not enough of us, right? We need regular people who aren't typically fans, or who are the casual fans, people who are a little bit interested, people who haven't been interested at all, who just need to be turned on to it. People, talking about more than just when Jake Paul fights Mike Tyson. Talking about more than just when Canelo fights Crawford. And maybe that's where it begins. You initially have to draw people in, but it's got to be more than that. So maybe this is going to be the key. I don't know. I'm waiting to see it happen. I've been thinking about it and contemplating on the idea and what would it take and what would it look like and all of these things forever. So maybe this is finally the time. So let me know what you guys think. Am I pinning my hopes on this one and it's all going to be for nothing? It's all going to be for naught because it's not going to go anywhere. Is this really going to be the one? Is this finally somebody who's going to be able to come in and make it all click? Let me know what you guys think.